What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to channel Boosty Gaming here, and today I want to talk to you about a trailer that I just found out while I was browsing through YouTube. So it was very interesting, but it was posted in Rise of Kingdoms AR. I'm assuming that stands for Arabic. But this video is kind of unique on its own because it was released in Rise of Kingdoms AR, Arabic, but the video was actually dubbed in Chinese because I'm assuming that this person who's the narrator and also most likely the new commander that's actually coming to the game is Chinese, and it has English subtitles. If you read, yeah, like it says, 6 states shall bow to one. And it basically shows a scene of Chinese archers fighting against, I think this kind of looks like the army of Philip that's using phalanx formation as they're fighting against whoever. So very, very interesting kind of scene to kind of hint at something that's actually coming. And I think this trailer is originally designed to kind of highlight a new commander that's about to come out to the game. Because it does focus on this one emperor, this person right here. And then it says, kingdoms shall be forgotten by history. Okay, so there's some hints there. And then this person is basically fighting against the Roman Empire. And you see that there's there's a bit of, this is like, I think the Mamruk, which is the one that I'm actually using for my cavalry, I think, in the game for choosing Arabia. So they're fighting against Arabian troops too. So it's not. I don't think the enemy troops are meant to kind of signify anything. It just shows how the nature of Rise of Kingdoms is actually, like you have certain kingdoms fight against another with certain civilizations and stuff. So I think that's what it is. And there you can see his face clear as day. And what you can actually notice from this, right, is that he's wearing the Emperor's crown. The Emperor's same crown that I think Liu Che is wearing. So this commander is basically the Emperor of some sort. And also we have this Chinese character, which I don't understand what it says, but like because I'm Korean, I have like an idea what that's supposed to say. Because we have a little bit more Chinese character background as you grow up in Korea and you kind of learn about it a little bit. Not as much as Japanese or Chinese, because they have like Japanese have kanjis that actually use Chinese characters, and then Chinese actually use the traditional Chinese and simplified as they grow up. So yeah, we have this character that kind of could be the hint of who this emperor might be. And obviously Bai Chi's fighting by his side. But I don't think this person's meant to be an infantry commander, to be fair, because there's a lot of archers just standing right behind him, right? So I think they're trying to signify and they're trying to kind of give you a tease of what the next archer commander is supposed to be, because this is basically the same troops that you get as a Chinese, like if you choose Chinese civilization. This is the Chokonu troops, which is basically the upgraded version of archers for a Chinese civilization. And he basically orders them to attack, and it basically transitions to this right where they shoot a bunch of arrows in the background and have Bai Chi fighting for him. And it says 7 kingdoms, 1 emperor. And what I think that means is that he basically says 6 kingdoms shall be forgotten by history. And including his own kingdom before that, he basically became the emperor and then became to build the empire. That just means that he had 7 kingdoms in total in the Chinese province, and then he became the emperor of those kingdoms, I'm assuming, based on the context that we're able to kind of get from the trailer, right? So So with all of that information, I think we have kind of like a good idea of who this person might be. And I think this person is the Emperor Qing, who is the first emperor of all China. I think he was the one who basically built the Great Wall. His grave. I don't know what the right word is, but his grave is actually probably the largest kind of like Chinese like cultural thing that was ever found, and then it's not even like explored fully as far as what I remember. And yeah, I think he is the very first emperor of China, the Qin Shi Huang. And the reason why I think that is simple is because when he says six kingdoms shall be forgotten by history, as far as what I know, and I could be wrong, someone can fact check this for me. He's the one who, the Qin Shi Huang is the first emperor that actually became the emperor by conquering the six kingdoms that was in the Chinese province at Chinese like land at the time of his ruling, right? So I think that's what this kind of signifies, right? And also at the same time, that character that we saw earlier, where is it? That character that we saw earlier, what I found out from Wikipedia is that the Qin dynasty, which was actually founded from BC 221, BC 221 to 206, is basically this is basically the kingdom that was found by the Qin Shi Huang. And then this character, it looks very similar to the one that was on the flag, although it's a little different if you look at it closely. It's a little different from this right here, but it does have that little thing on the top. So I'm assuming this is, but it does have that like structure, and then I think this is just basically the fancy way of you writing it in a flag when you're trying to kind of signify your army potentially, or it could just mean very different things. But it does look kind of similar to me, to my eyes. But I could 100% be wrong. So it does look like that person who conquered the conquered the six kingdoms is basically the Qin Shi Huang, is what I think the new commander is supposed to be. And then this is supposed to be the new archer commander at the end of the day. That's actually coming out on the next commander release, I think. So, yeah, super exciting. This commander looks really, really cool, though. Like, look at the robe that he's wearing. It's like full black with like red and gold to kind of show that he's emperor. But then again, like those like furry little details that he has just kind of show that he's like different from other emperors at the end of the day, right? Kind of like shows how strong he looks. So, which is what I love, right? I love how he looks as a commander. And, like, as we have, like, Li Che already, who is also the emperor, as far as what I remember, I think Li Che is also an emperor. You gotta kind of show the difference between the very first emperor of China versus other emperors of the China, right? So, yeah, this looks pretty darn sick in terms of how he looks, in like what he's wearing and stuff. So, exciting visual. And yeah. So at the end of the day, I think this is the new commander that's coming to Rising Kingdom. That is the Qin Shi Huang, which is the first emperor of China. And with all that said, yeah, this looks pretty exciting. For one, is because I think Lilith, as a company that is based in China, right, is going to make, I think, Qin Shi Huang very, very strong for several reasons. For one, just the way that, like, I think Koreans kind of consider YSS or Yi Sun Shin, like, kind of like the holy, holy general that protected the country's sake, Qin Shi Huang has probably more significance for Chinese people than any other historic figure in in Chinese history, right? So with all that said, as a Chinese company, it makes a lot of sense for them to actually make Qin Shi Huang very, very strong commander, in my opinion, right? And that's what archers really needed in the game. They need someone with a great historic significance, for one, so that people actually love the commander, and two, has super, super powerful skill set, right? Imagine you running Qin Shi Huang with Zhuge Liang, right? Who is basically the smartest strategist in Chinese history, or as this is what like a lot of people actually thinks, right? With the greatest emperor of all times for China, like that, just running an army of that just feels really good for people who has pride in Chinese culture. Heck, I'm Korean, and then I think that's pretty cool, right? Like running a Zhuge Liang with with Qin Shi Huang, just feels really good to kind of run as a march too, right? But yeah, so that's basically all the insight that I got from it. I think this is Qin Shi Huang. I think a lot of other people probably would like agree to it. But yeah, this very exciting stuff coming to the game, and archers just really needed this, right? Archers really needed a very powerful commander that is going to be that is going to have enough historical significance to kind of back it up a little bit, right? It's not gonna have an impact in the game, but then again, like when you're playing a game that's made by a Chinese company and then you have a Qin Shi Huang coming to the game, you know that person's gonna be powerful, right? So, anyways, that's just my 2 cents on it. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video, and if you guys have any different opinion on who this commander might be, just feel free to leave it down in the comment down below. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next video. Exciting. All right, peace.